We are back. It's the Infowarrior with Jason Bermas. I want to remind everybody, Invisible Empire is on the market. You can get it right now at prisonplanet.com or Infowars.com. And somebody just made a bibliography for it. I posted it over on my Facebook, facebook.com/The Infowarrior, and it's pretty impressive, but could be added to. But now people asking me for a bibliography, I at least have something to point towards. All right, we're going to go back to John in West Virginia, and we were talking about prison time for Cheney. What else you got for me, John?
Well, I wanted to say that I don't agree with you because if you look at it, it seems the type of crime that was involved, and especially if there's a way to link it to the economic disaster that happened in '08, it looks like high treason and it's exexecution, and I think that's
too easy, though. All right, here's my deal, John. It's not necessarily that I'm against the death penalty, but that's a quick out for these guys. I don't want to see a quick out for these guys. I'd like them to see another 15, 20, 30 years of their life in solitary confinement so they know what kind of a system they were willing to put other human beings in. I think you put these guys in a firing squad or a noose or a guillotine, that almost makes them martyrs in a sense. 100 years down the line, if these people are able to change history yet again, and we know they're very good at that, they can say, look at these poor people being prosecuted for trying to bring in a one-world government. They were executed. No, we should be very humane to them, and I think that they should be prosecuted, punished, and punished according to the law, but I wouldn't go with the execution. I honestly think that my solution is much, much harder on them. I really think that is an easy out. It's a snap of the finger, and they're over with their punishment. I think that they should serve hard time in prison, but you're welcome to your very own opinion. I appreciate the call. Let's go to Sherry in Georgia. Sherry, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason. I just wanted to say great job with Invisible Empire.
Oh, thank you.
I haven't had the chance yet to see the full version of Police State 4, but I have been able to see clips. And I just wanted to let you know with what I'm doing in my community is I've started a website, a Facebook group. I have a meeting with my county sheriff to keep things like what's happening in Police State 4 from hitting my county.
Well, let's talk about that for a second, because you're activating locally. A lot of people think, oh, I have to do this big national thing, or where do I get started? But just by having a Facebook group in your local community and having these meetings, you are having an effect. So tell people about that. Tell people about where you're from Georgia, and how you got that group started through Facebook and what you're doing now.
Okay. You read an article from the Barrow Journal? I'm from Barrow County. I have a Facebook page called Citizens of Barrow County for Change. I'm also in the process of building a website, citizensofbarrowcountyforchange.org. It's not up and running yet. I set up a meeting with my county sheriff and am going to try to work with him to get the police officers and the deputies and him in line with the Oath Keepers. They took an oath for our Constitution, right? Uphold our Constitution. I want to see that enforced.
Well, that's great, and it's good that you're going to the local sheriff. A lot of people don't understand that the sheriff is who you want to talk to, because they are literally in charge of law enforcement for that county. I encourage more people to take after Sherry's example and get involved locally. That's how you can begin to make a difference. Sherry, keep going. I love what you're doing. We're going to go to our next caller. Let's go to Michael in Florida. See, folks, you have to be the change you want to see in the world. That doesn't mean that you have to become a member of We Are Change or be a radio show host or a documentary filmmaker or Cindy Sheehan. You can just get involved on constitutional issues in your local community. And if that's not your cup of tea, there are many other things you can do as well. Michael, you're on the line.
Hey, Jason. I just wanted to ask you about, have you seen the film about after the Polish plane crash?
You're talking about the film where they zoom in on a few separate people, look like they're running around in the background, and then there's kind of like this blurry, maybe a person by what looks to be like the tail section, but I think it's almost undisputable that you are hearing gunshot fire, right?
Yeah, that was my impression, and I also read that the video taker got shot, And then
I've heard that same thing, too, that he died like a couple days after he put that video out. I don't know if the second part is true, but I can tell you I have watched the video. It is very suspicious. It does look like there are people running around in the background during the plane crash. Gunshots can be heard, and that would lead more credence that they did kill those people.
Yeah, I read the thing about him being stabbed in kind of a not so credible location, so I was asking if,
No, you know what? That's the thing. I had not seen anything credible as to the stabbing or the murder of the eyewitness there, but since most of that stuff isn't in English and the Western media really isn't covering it, I can't tell you one way or the other. But yes, Michael, I have watched the video. The video does make me a little bit more suspicious of the event, as if it shouldn't be suspicious that the Polish president and the majority of his cabinet were in one plane that suddenly crashed just as he was speaking out against the European Union. However, that video does lead more credence to it, but I don't know if, about the guy getting murdered or any of those kind of conspiracy theories. But if somebody out there that speaks the language, that can understand this stuff and put together something comprehensive in English, we'd be willing to post it over at Infowars.com. Appreciate the call, Michael. Let's go to Chris in Indiana. Chris, you're on the line.
Hey, Brother Jason, thank you.
You got it.
Hey, I live up near Notre Dame University, and it's Obamaville up here. Total Obamaville. And what I've been doing is putting your films and Alex's films on DVD in the AVI format, and putting media converters and media players on there, because a lot of people have the Xbox 360 and whatnot, and they are able to play. And I'm telling you right now, and then I'm not putting any kind of copy protection on top of that. They've gone viral around here.
And that's the way to do it. People don't understand that what's so cool about PrisonPlanet.tv is that you can go and get the DivX AVI versions of my films and Alex's films now. You can usually fit 3 to 6 films on one simple disc, depending on how large it is. And like you said, you hand it to somebody who has a PlayStation 3 or a Xbox 360, and they now play on those players just like a DVD. We're in the modern age. So on top of that, they also play through YouTube. So if you're on Xbox Live, Chris, you can be talking to a group while you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Halo 3 in one of those group things and say, hey, check out this film Invisible Empire for free on YouTube, and they go to the link and they watch it. There's so many ways to spread the word through this modern technology, and that's what scares the establishment. They don't have full control over the internet and social networking via these video game consoles that are ever so popular.
It just takes 5 minutes to burn a disc, and it's amazing the results.
All right, Chris, I appreciate the call. I appreciate the call. Go Infowarriors. See, there's yet another example of how you can get involved. He's not talking to his local sheriff. He's getting involved with his local community by awakening people to the Obama deception, to Fall of the Republic, to the invisible empire that surrounds us. Mike in Massachusetts. Mike, you're on the line. Yes, sir.
Hi, Jason.
Yes.
Good to talk with you. We've been listening to you guys, you and Alex, for a long time now, and we love you because you're so accurate. Everything you do is so well documented, and we take it as the biblical truth because you guys are just awesome.
Well, thank you.
However, you said something earlier in today's show that disturbed me. It disturbed me a little bit.
All right, let's hear it.
You said you didn't think Bush knew about 911.
No, I don't.
Well, he very certainly did. And
all right, Mike. Before we get into a big argument about it, but I'm going to let you say your piece, and maybe we'll take up the rest of the segment with it. His father, to me, is much more of a player in the sense that he puts together these intelligence ops. He was a part of the shadow government back when he was the vice president under Reagan. He was actually in the White House on the morning of 9/11 while his son was not. Now, I'm going to listen to your evidence that you think that he may have known something about 9/11 beforehand. He definitely was warned in the PDB memos on that level with Osama bin Laden determined to attack the United States with suicide hijacked planes. That's the August PDB. So on that level, sure, did he know? But I just don't believe that he knew that he was in the middle of a black operation, a U.S. covert operation in conjunction with Israel, Pakistan, and Saudi Arabia. But I'm going to give you the floor. Go ahead, Mike.
Thank you very much, Jason.
You got it.
I'm sure you've seen the video of where he was and what he was doing at the time when the planes flew into the building.
Absolutely.
Are you familiar with that? Yeah, he was in front of a bunch of middle schoolers, ready to give a speech. A few minutes after it happened, a CIA guy or an FBI guy or whatever,
a Secret Service agent, actually,
whispers in his ear.
Yep.
And what does Bush do? What happens then? He sits back with a little half a smile on his face and folds his hands in his lap. He'd just been told that the U.S. was under attack. And what does he do? He sits back with a little smile. Now, come on, Jason.
Well, all right, let me say this, though. The guy, hold on, Mike. Let me say, because I've looked at that tape thousands of times, and the guy that you're talking about is Andrew Card. Andrew Card is a Secret Service officer and a member of the continuity of government program. He's the one that walks up to Bush, and God knows what he mumbles into his ear. It may be the U.S. is under attack, or we're under attack, or the World Trade Center is under attack.